Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry
Yes.
weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti, and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running, 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who without Mrs. B might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Good morning, and good morning. Happy Friday. You are here in the right place if you're watching the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley. And I always have to put and guests, wonderful guests, and other experts. Because I always tell people, whatever you do in life, it takes a team. It takes more people than just you. Yes, I know, I always say, yeah, this is the show I have, and I have a TV streaming show, but I have so many awesome guests that come on that make it great. I have so many people that come on a weekly basis that puts their information out there and their tips and their value. So yes, it takes a team. So just to give you a quick tip already, if you're building your business, if you're building your brand, if you're just, a nonprofit, whatever it is, remember, it takes a team. It takes people. So I hope everybody is the last day of the week, the first week of the year for 2022. Can you believe it? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, right? Going right in strong. The first week is already passed. Has everybody got their goals and stuff together? I hate to, it's kind of like, I take it like a little joke because it seemed like every year, you know how we do, in the whole world, I got to get everything together. I got to get my little goal list and everything. And I tell people, I said, okay, please, whatever you do, don't be stressing Don't be stressing, because all that does is waste time for you to get to what you're trying to do. So if you stress out, start saying, well, I didn't get this done. I know some people are already out there probably. It's been a week past and I had this on my list. And I keep telling people, stop it. Stop the madness. Stop the madness, because whatever got done this week was supposed to get done this week. Even if you had to relax, sit down, take a quiet time, and just get some rest. That's called self-care. So you have to include that in your schedule. So before we bring on, because I have a wonderful, wonderful guest, and I call all my lady guest queens because I look at them as queens. And this lady, Gwen Richardson, she is a queen, queen, queen. And I love when people come on the show and they just have this impact in life. There's a few people, I always tell me, there's a few people that can create an impact, say they're impactor and do things, but then I always tell people it's one thing to say, okay, I impact. I create an impact in the world. It's another to say that you can see them doing it. You see the steps, you see the footprints, as they say. So in this lady, I see the footprints in her of what she's doing. But I want to leave something, because I'm always trying to give something positive, every day, just for you to think about. I started off this year by saying, remember real, REAL. And what does that stand for? I know a lot of you probably saying, okay, Barbara, I think I wrote it down. That's okay. I got you. So real, feeling positive, real enthusiastic about life, real enthusiastic about life, about your ability to achieve your goals. So this is something that I'm taking into 2022. The whole year is real. You want to be enthusiastic about life, no matter what it is. You want to look and say to yourself, you know what? Every day I wake up, I'm going to be open to learning. I'm going to be open to understanding certain things. I'm going to be open to what's going on with my surroundings. I want to be enthusiastic about it. I want to be happy about it. We've been going for the last 2 years dealing with what we're dealing with. I don't like to put it out there because, we go into that hole there. But we had to make a choice and a decision on how we're going to respond to it. And that's in anything, not just the 2-year pandemic, but everything else. We have to make that choice. So just be enthusiastic what you're doing. Look at your plan. Look at what you're trying to do, what you want to make an impact in life. What did you want to do? And be enthusiastic about it. And believe me, things will come your way. Things will come your way. So this lady, she's an author. She's an entrepreneur. She's a co-founder of her own company. She provides, and I love this because I'm going to have to talk to her a little bit. She's marketing and promotional services for authors and publishers. So, she's already trying to make sure not only her getting visibility, but she's having other people that writing books, publishers that are getting their visibility. And see, that's what I'm talking about, impact. When you can not only help yourself, but you're helping others and you're thinking about others. So Mrs. Gwen Richardson, I can't bring on the queens without, the royalty of it. So after this quick little video, we will have the queen, Mrs. Richardson's on. Hello, lady.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. You look beautiful.
Well, I'm not generally a morning person, so I had to make an extra effort for your show.
You know what? See, with that said, I am totally honored. Thank you so much. Because I know sometimes if you're not that morning person and you're getting up, you're like, ooh, I'm doing that little extra now.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you, Queen.
And I loved your intro. I do an online show but mine is via Zoom. But I loved all the video that you have and your
Yes.
presentation, and it's great. So
Thank
I'm,
you.
picking up some tips
Thank you,
on
lady.
this.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We have to, we pick up tips from each other, and do some things a little bit different. I know we have some sponsors, so that's basically what we bring on throughout the show. So that helps and gives me a little bit extra time to get some things done too in the background.
I
So
do understand that as well.
you're
We
producing, your
yes,
interview. I mean, it's everything, right?
yes,
You know,
yes. And you were so right that any effort that you do in life, if you want to make an impact, you have to have a team. You
yeah,
have to, yeah, and you have to give kudos to your team. You have
yeah.
to not take your team for granted.
Granted. So
So
much. So true. So true. And every day, I always try to say every day to them, even if I don't do it live here, I try to say it with amongst them because, like I said, I'd be like, okay, I'm back to square one and I might not even be doing what I'm doing because of the team is not around. So, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, lady, I just want to, like I said, commend you for everything you do first before we start. I know it takes that time, that energy. People have to encourage, you get encouragement because you're taking on, I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you're a lot of different things. And to do that, it takes that extra. So before I always start, I always ask my guests, because I say, you're just fabulous, amazing person, what you're doing now in the world. But before all that happened, let's go way back a little bit on how it started. Where did it come from? Where did this idea happen? So can you just give us a little bit of that, a little bit of background?
well, I'm a PK, a preacher's kid,
Oh,
but my
okay.
dad was also very entrepreneurial, and my parents were very education focused. Um, but I knew when I was 15 that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So even when I was a little kid, we would play stores. When I was a kid, we would play games that we would make up. We would do community outdoor stuff, or indoors we would make up games and we would play store. I was always running the store, even though I wasn't the oldest, and I was always selling something. I would figure out uh, how to, if I bought something for a nickel and sold it for a dime, I could make a profit. I don't know where all that came from, but it was just, you know, everybody has their own personality. Mine was
Mhm.
always uh, entrepreneurial and coming up with ideas that were new and different. So, when I went to college, I went for business. But I learned things about business from my dad. That's where I really, and then I went in business at a young age. That was my goal at 25, and I haven't worked for anyone else since then. So
Wow. That's
I've never collected a paycheck.
mm,
I've had from a third party. I've done contract work and things like that. But it was always short term, and it was always in addition to whatever business I was in. And I was always I was an early reader
mm,
and was always writing, even as a kid.
mm.
So I didn't do my first book until 2008. But I had a bookstore before, I had a bookstore. My husband and I had a brick and mortar bookstore from 2000 to 2010. And so I got into the whole book side of the book industry.
Mhm.
And that was an idea that just came. Ideas come, and so cushcity.com was the online business that we started. We started it in December of 98, and then in September of 2000 we opened a brick and mortar store, and then we
Wow.
had that for 10 years. And then over the course of that, authors kept asking us about marketing because we were online. We had a large following of customers, and we got into the marketing. So eventually it evolved to where now all we do is marketing. or book events. We have a major book event that we do every year, the National Black Book Festival, and it celebrates its 15th anniversary this year. We did virtual the last 2 years in 2020 and 2019. I mean 2021. We're hoping to, because it's in October.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're hoping to be in person this year. We're planning to be in person. And we have to believe that this will be behind us or manageable and act on the belief. We have to invest in hope. This is what I call it. So that's what I do. So what I do every day is I help other authors market their books. And while I now have 13 books, I don't spend as much time promoting myself. I spend time promoting other people. So I don't do this that often for me because I'm promoting
You
other
always
people.
I know, you know what, Queen, I know the feeling because, one of the things I do is I try to, just like I'm doing now with you, is give that visibility, like for you to be out there so people get to know you. And I'm so busy looking for people, trying to get them on the show. Sometimes I forget to introduce myself and what I do because I'm so busy making sure you are getting that spotlight. And, that's
Right.
why I say, this is why I always say, there's not many people in the world. They say they're empath, they say they help and, help others and stuff, but it's this thing to see it. See, you're doing it. You're doing the action of it. And that's what's important, because when people see that, they're like, wow, there it is. She's doing the footprint. She's doing that work. And that's why I give you so much. I commend you for that, because you're helping so many other lives. You're helping so many other authors, so many other publishers that need to be seen, that maybe would have never got seen if it wasn't for you establishing what you do.
That's true. And a lot of people are complainers. It's a lot of people who complain about what's not happening. I'm not that person. I'm an action person. And I like to connect with other action people because talk doesn't do much. And you said talk is cheap.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That popped in my head. The old saying, "Talk is cheap." You got to. And I know my mother used to say, "You need to walk the walk," and stuff.
Right.
Instead of talk. And I'm in the same headspace with you, the same mind frame where it's like I can say this all day, what you're gonna do, but when are you gonna do it? When are you gonna put in action? When are you gonna do something? I mean, when are you gonna take a step? I always tell people, just take a step to show me that you're trying somewhere.
You're right. And don't wait for somebody else to hold your hand or, because that's putting the onus on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
When
and
the
that's
onus
not
needs to be on you.
Yeah. And a lot of times that's like some people say, well, they don't understand. They might say, well, when we don't understand you're doing all this, we don't understand what you're doing. Well, see, that's my dream. That's the gift that God gave me.
Right.
He didn't give you that. So you might not understand why I have to do what I do.
You're right. You're right. Because that's what the concepts that we move on are God driven, because I ask God for ideas.
Yes. Yeah.
And God gives me ideas, and God gives me fresh ideas. I don't try to duplicate what somebody else is doing. It's nothing new under the sun, but you can do things in a different way. I don't try to copy what somebody's doing. I try to present it in a different way, present something new.
See, like I said, you are in the same lane with this, because I tell people, I said, there's never really original. I mean, God is to me is original thought. Right. So he gives us his original thoughts. Right. And then, we take that. Now, don't reinvent the wheel. Just make the wheel different. You might have sparkles on your wheel. I might have, leather on mine, or, or little stars on mine. I'm just saying, but it's the same wheel. You're just changing it to what your uniqueness is and what you're doing for others. So I always tell people that. I said, we're all different in our own way, because we do have special gifts within us. So you have your gift of what you do, and you rocking that wheel.
Well, I try to make an impact, and I hope I do. And people tell me that I do, and so I work on that. I work on being innovative,
Yeah.
doing different things, and I learn from other people. Like I'm learning some things from you just by
Yeah.
being on your show.
I
So
mean, it was funny you said that because when I was pulling some of the pictures and stuff doing your video this morning, I was like, oh, she's a show host too, the podcast. I only had to see some things and learn some things from her as well. So a lot of people they look and say, well, I don't want to ask the questions for this other person because they're kind of doing something similar, and I don't want them to know my secrets and all. They go to the competition. So, and I'm like, really, really.
I hear people say that they use it as a reason not to act. So, you don't have to tell anybody anything until whatever your concept is already in motion.
Mhm.
And they can't duplicate what you've done because they don't have what you have. They have what they have. They don't have what you have.
Mhm.
So, we created a show called Black Authors Matter TV. It's live on Facebook, and COVID was the reason why the show got created
See?
because we couldn't do the in-person National Black Book Festival, and we didn't want to just be dormant for however long, and we we have 4 guests every Tuesday evening, and so I understand when you were saying you have to fill slots, you have to look for interesting guests, and it can be challenging sometimes, but there's always somebody doing something,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's probably easier to find now because of social media and all the other tools, the online tools that we have.
Yes. And I just want to say, everybody out there that's listening to the show right now, is that, please, get in touch. I want to just show this real quick before I don't want this to pass while we're talking, to get
Okay.
in touch with Gwen Richardson, because as she stated, she helps, authors and publishers get that visibility. She helps you market yourself. Why wouldn't you take it? I always ask, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Why don't you take advantage that you want people to know you wrote a book? Okay, wonderful. Now what? I always ask people, now what? I wrote, like you, I wrote more than 9 books. And if they're just sitting on the shelf or in the garage somewhere, that's not doing anybody any good. If
Right.
you wrote that chapter, you wrote that book, and you want it out there, reach out to Miss Gwen Richardson. You see, she has that platform to do. So I always got to put that out there, because sometimes people, they listen to my wonderful queens that come on, and then they be like, well, I need somebody to help me with this. I just had somebody on. Reach out to that person. So I'll put her information up there again before we end. But it's so important that's why I like to bring people on to get to know you or others, because then there's no excuse. I always tell people, see, there's no excuse now, because I had somebody on the show that could help you with your challenges. So if the challenge is your author and you're trying to be known, then see, there's a result right here. And this is Miss Richardson. So wonderful, wonderful queen. But I wanted to ask you before because I know our time quick goes quick.
Time goes by.
Time goes quick. I'm like, somebody just brought you up.
I'm familiar with it.
I wanted to ask you, because I know you deal with a lot of, authors and publishers, and you have, other events that you have. What would be just the one at the beginning, would you give advice for, a person that's like, become an author, just this out there, just at the beginning? What would one advice you give them?
Well, if they're going to be self-published, which is how most authors now get their work out, because the opportunity is there for self-publishing, which wasn't there 20 years ago. And all my books are self-published. So, because I want to retain the rights to my books. So, but not everybody wants that. And some people want to pursue traditional publishing. I would tell people to first focus in on what it is you want to write about and who your target audience is. And a lot of people who start off as authors or want to be authors say, well, everybody is going to buy my book. No, everybody's not going to buy your book. everybody, let me say, everybody is not going to buy your book. There is a certain audience for certain types of books. For example, I have 13 books. They're all different. I have children's books. I have a book for teens. I have a book for college bound students. I have a novel. I have one Bible based book. I have 2 economic based books. My books, most of my books are nonfiction, but even my children's books are focused on my passion, which is business. So some of my children's books are for younger ages. You know, they're for ages 4 to 7 and there. But, some are for teenagers. You have to know your audience. So before you start even writing your book, think about who is the audience you're trying to reach with what you're going to say. Because that will dictate what you're doing as far as what you're going to write and your marketing efforts. It will dictate all of that.
Ooh, that was some good gold nuggets. I like that. Knowing, understanding your target market. Your book is not maybe for everybody. And you're
Right.
so
You need to know that in advance.
in advance.
You
Yeah.
need to think about that up front. Who's the audience for your book?
Ooh, I like that. That's some. I hope everybody taking notes. That was some good information, very good information. And like you said, because I know there's a lot of collaboration books out there now. I mean, I'm in a few myself. And a lot of times, even with that, that main person that has the book might have their target niche. Like maybe the book is about, women that went through certain trauma.
Right.
That might be the basic. And then she wants to bring authors in that dealt with certain traumas to kind of just say, okay, you went through this, but now, boom, you're doing this. And she wants people to see that bridge where you don't have to stay in that trauma. That's
Right.
that niche. That's what, the book is for, to help people, motivate people, give them hope, especially
Right.
for women, maybe.
Right.
So, yeah, that's good to have the know at the beginning, like you said, before you even start, is that niche, is who your audience is, as they say. Now, I wanted to ask you real quickly, because I know there's a book, I know you do children's book, which I love, because I feel that's another impact you're giving, just to put out there, because children nowadays, teenagers, we need to do that for them. See, when you're really doing another wonderful job with that, because we need to help hone in our children out there and our teenagers and get them to reading books.
Right. Yes. And not just playing video games or being on
Thank you.
devices all the time.
Or
Because
looking
it's
at
a different
reality
side of the
shows.
brain. Reading is a different side of the brain than screening. So we need to get them reading. But my latest children's book, I don't know, is it going to come up? Oh, it came up.
Yeah, put up a little bit more, yeah, and put
It's
it a little
called
closer.
Lost
There you
Women.
go. Yeah, there you go.
And this is a children's book, and it's called 7 African American Women Who Built Their Businesses from the Ground Up. And these are 7 actual living women that represent different generations and different types of businesses. Because I wanted to do women, we've heard about Madam C.J. Walker, and of course, present day, we hear about Oprah, and we hear to a lesser degree about Kathy Hughes, who had Radio One and TV One. And those are basically the business women that we hear about all the time. And so my goal when pursuing the book, when I thought about the concept, I said, I want to do living women, and I want them to be of different generations and different industries, so they'll be relatable.
Yes.
So one of the women, for example, people might know 2 of them, because one of them is the owner of Honey Pot, which does feminine hygiene products. And then the other one, and I have to remember her name myself, B. Dixon. So much. She's the owner of Honey Pot. And then Camille Rose Naturals, which is a hair products, that is Janelle Stevens. So, but when I looked, I did a lot of research to come up with the women, and then I had to get an illustrator to do like
the
part.
Yeah.
And inside the book, the book is written in rhyme form, so it's poetic. So it tells about each person in the book. Each person has their own little section. But at the back of the book, I have their actual pictures their photos
Oh,
beside the illustration,
oh, I love that. That
so
is,
people can see who it
yes,
actually
who they
is,
are.
and it has their website. So I wanted children and adults tell me they're inspired when they read this book
Yeah, because
because
I was about to say I need to buy that book for me.
it tells the story of each woman, how she got started, and how she expanded her business. And it was my first time doing poetry of any kind of rhyming in my life, and I've been a writer all my life. But my other children's books are more narrative form. I have a series called Kids Biz, which plants the seed of entrepreneurship in children, and there's 4 books in that series so far. But it doesn't do the poetry and rhyming. So I said, with this book, let me try and see if I can do it.
Do a little, yeah, something different. Wow.
Yeah, and then my illustrator is a Black woman for this book.
Mm.
So she did all the illustrations. So I'm very excited about it. Um, it has a lot of applications. I mean, it can be promoted year round, but it can also be promoted during Black History Month. It can be promoted at like career days at schools for children.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
and I want more of our children to see entrepreneurship as a goal, something they can aspire to. And I want them to think about that at a young age, like I did, even though,
Yes.
you know,
And that's what, see, that's what I was saying before, Gwen, because now you're putting those seeds through your book to the young to say, look, you can do this. You can start at an early age. This could be
right.
in your wheelhouse right now. So I'm loving that. I'm gonna have to go again. I'm gonna have to buy some of these books. I love it. I love it. I want to, I'm thinking and start donating because sometimes I don't want the excuse as, well, I couldn't afford it. That comes up in people, especially with teenage children. Well, I can't afford it. And sometimes I'm like, well, you could afford to do this and this, but you can't afford to get something that's going to really, help you
Impact.
and
Right.
move you and give you an impact and give you skills. Really, so, sometimes I take that excuse out the box and buy the book.
Well, my book is available. All of my books are available on Amazon, or if you want an autographed copy, or you just want to support me as an author, purchase them from my website. Because one thing a lot of people, the public, lay people, don't know about authors. When we sell our books on Amazon, we make much less money on the book sale than we do if you buy them from us directly.
Correctly. Yeah.
Amazon gets a big cut, more than half of whatever the list price is on there. They get more than half. So, and then you have to wait 60 days for your royalties. So, yeah,
60.
they hold your money for 60 days at Amazon. So, just if you, and this is for all authors, if you can support an author by buying directly from them, please do so. But sometimes Amazon does make it very convenient because you can combine it with other things that you're purchasing. And I do understand that part. And my books are on ebook too. So you can do the Kindle version or the paperback. And this book is the only one I have that's also in hardcover. So this is the paperback, but it's also available in hardcover.
Awesome. See, that's another tip you just gave us. See, look at you just rolling with these tips that we need to know. I'm glad you mentioned that about the Amazon thing. So what
Yeah.
I want to do, Queen, is usually what I do. I want to make sure I take myself down for at least 30 seconds so you can try to give any last words. And then after that, give people how they can contact you. I know I have your website up. If there's any other context you want to know, you can say. But just give some last words before we sign off today.
Well, I would tell everybody who, especially if you want to be a writer and author, just the one of the hardest things to do is get started. And then after that, being motivated to finish trips up most people. And so a lot of people have half written books or partially written books that they never finished. But just set a goal, work on it, work on your book every day, or at least even if you just write one sentence, work on it on a regular basis. Make sure as ideas come to you, you jot them down either in your phone. But whatever you have inside that can help other people, they can't access it unless you put it out. And a book is the best way to put it out there because it's permanent. And I mean, it can outlive you. So your story, your passions, what you have, your experiences can always help people. So I encourage people to do that. And now it's very easy to do compared to years in the past.
Yeah.
It's things are accessible. And one of my books, if people want to know about that, and let me hold on one second. I hate to do it off screen because I hate it when people do that and go off camera a little bit. But this is one of my books. It's called Write It Right: The Guide to Self-Publishing Your Best Book.
Okay. Also, that's a guide to help you through that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
Step by step. It tells you all
Hmm.
about how to get started, how to promote it, how to get it published, self-published, and it gives you all the information you need. So I had some stickers in there because I did an update on it. So this is one of my books that if you need some help, you don't know where to start, this is a book that can help you.
Again, see, we have a wonderful queen here to help you with that in the process. So lady, I just want to thank you again for coming on the show, getting up so early for me to come, because I know, like I said, that's the extra. And when you do the extras, we do appreciate it here at the Diamond Factor Experience Show. And to congratulate you for your 15 years of doing your the book. I know your
The
national
National Black Book Festival.
Black. Yeah,
15
congratulations.
years.
15 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
And congratulations to you for your platform. It's really great. It's one I think is you're really professional. I love it.
Thank you so much, lady. And we just celebrated November, our first year. I mean, being on
Okay.
the network. So I'm like, I know we're still like in that infant stage, but we made a whole year, and I'm just so proud that we can go through another year helping other people get their visibility like yourself. So thank you so much, and you're always welcome to come back if you have anything new that's coming up, like any kind of other promotional stuff that you have, or any authors that you want to bring, or just yourself again. You are welcome to come back to the Diamond Factor Experience Show, and we will help you out in that area. So we appreciate you so
Oh,
much.
okay. Wonderful. Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, everybody. So we will see Miss. Remember that her information is on the bottom. Please
Yes.
contact her if you need help, visibility for your book. If you're a publisher or author, you're just trying to get that out there. The Queen, Gwen Richardson, will help you out. Thank you again, lady.
Thank you and have a great weekend and a successful 2022.
Yes. Happy New Year. And I'm back. Wonderful, wonderful. I love when I bring on individuals on the show that really can give some information for you to move from one extreme to the next. And I thank again Mrs. Queen, Gwen Richardson, for coming on the Diamond Factor Experience Show with myself and just sharing what she does, sharing her, excuse me, ooh, all of a sudden it's like I'm losing my throat, my voice. Just coming on the show, just sharing her expertise on what she does to help authors and to help publishers get out there so you can know who they are. And this is her information again, just if you didn't get it. If you missed it, the show, there's always replays going on, the recordings. Please, look back at this show, the first part of it, if you missed it, and see who she is. And she will help you with getting yourself out there on getting yourself visible. And it's all about the visibility. So, I want to take some time today because that's what I do. But before that, we have another sponsor. we gotta give credit to our sponsors before I move on. So let me put our sponsor on here, and then I'll be right back.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
We are back. We are back. So happy New Year. The first week of the year is here. It has passed, and we're going to be going into the second week next week. And I just want people to know, excuse me, that the biggest thing that I want to kind of bring to everybody's up is that if you have a business, if you have a nonprofit, if you believe in something that you want other people to know that's really strong in your heart and your soul, get that visibility. Get that visibility, even if it's on a show like my show, or even on Oprah, or, if you can get on those shows, do that. Do that. You can do it. You can do it. I tell people, you're like, well, I don't know. And, I'm this. And no, you can do it. If you believe in what you're doing, you believe in your business, you believe in what you're trying to accomplish, then you have to get that visibility. By any means necessary. I'm going to say it just that way, because people are just not going to know you. They're not going to be like, oh, I am, I know a person named Barbara Beckley, and, she does this. She helps people get visible. People are not going to know that unless I put myself out there. The same as with you. So I want to just do just a few minutes of just going, just an overview about creating that credibility, stepping up. I call it, you have to step up. So let me just pull some up real quick. Creating visibility for your brand. How are people seeing you? How are people seeing you? What are you doing to make people see you? So I want to go just through a few basic items today, because this is the new year. And you know how everybody's always saying, this is where everybody starts saying, I'm trying to, level up. I'm trying to do this. I need to get this done. And all, it's the new year. And I hear that. And it's like the regular routine of every year. But you have to be strategic and plan out whatever you do. And I don't care if it's January, June, October, November, whatever the timing is, you start and you move forward. Just don't look at the calendar just because January 1st is here. Now all of a sudden you want to get going and everything. Okay, that's good because it's the beginning of the year, and I get that. It's like giving you that, okay, here's a running start. But you need to be forever moving within your business, ever moving in your life. So you have to create that strategic way and find ways to do what you need to do. And the biggest thing is creating that visibility, especially for your brand, especially if you're a company, entrepreneur, if you're a franchise, whatever. How are people seeing you show up? So the first thing, you need to join a niche community that shares your ambition, your purpose, your passion, your drive, I'm always saying, your PPD. Get in a community that shares that same mindset that you have. It don't have to be so much of they're doing the same thing you're doing, but they have the mindset that they want to show up. They have the mindset that they know they have to be visible. They have the mindset to encourage you and others for you to move forward in what you're trying to do. So that's what I mean by your niche community, because you can have people around you right now that don't understand what your PPD is, because first their mindset might not be there. They might not want to do the extra. They might say that what you're doing is so crazy. But see, they don't have the gift. They don't understand, because that's in you. It was put in you to do what you have to do. So there's other like-minded communities that have that extra oomph that you're doing to be around them so they can encourage you. So they might have something that can help you get visibility and step up. Or you might have something that you offer to give them visibility and they can step up. So that's why it's good to be around like-minded people, that community, that your niche that you are about. Second, create an exciting bio page. You need to make sure when you show up, you're showing up nice, you're showing up professional, you're showing up as the expert, you're showing up as you. You want to make it look nice. You're not going to sit there and hand somebody, say, hey, look at me, and then hand them a garbage bag of who you are. The presentation counts. I don't care what anybody says. Your presentation counts when it comes to other people, so they can get to know who you are. You're showing up. You're doing that extra. So create that bio, create your background, however you do it on your website, on your linked information that you have online. That should be up to par. And not so much, it can look all pretty and everything, but make sure you're giving the information in there that's going to be result driven for people to want to reach out to you. It's one thing to say, okay, Barbara's fabulous and incredible and awesome. It's another thing to say, well, Barbara took this individual. They didn't have any confidence coming on the camera. And now after being with Barbara, coaching with Barbara, going to Barbara's workshop, now this person has their own podcast. They feel more comfortable now. They've been on stages now. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear results, not so much of the process of it. They want to hear the results of what you have done for others. And then they know that, wow, she took that person from here to there. So now I can basically come to her and get what I need for my own results. And that's what they want to hear. So you want to make sure that you creating that excellent bio so people can hear that, hear what you did, hear the results that you've done. Then again, just going right into it, put yourself in front of the camera. Show your credibility and expertise. People want to see it. I know there's audio too. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about Clubhouse as part of using, creating that brand. But they can hear you and they can see you. Put yourself up there. Be bold. Have that confidence. And I always ask people, is your fear overriding your purpose, or is your purpose overriding your fear? If you really believe in what you're doing and how you do it, then why is it so difficult to do the extra by getting on in a video to talk about your product or talk about your services? Or why is it so hard to get on an audio in a podcast and get interviewed for what you do? This is your purpose. The purpose is a thing that you wake up and you love, that you go to sleep and you're thinking about it, that you'll sit there and say to yourself sometime, hey, if I didn't get paid today for my purpose, it's not a biggie, because that's my passion. That's my PPD, as I say. So why can't you get on stages or get in front of cameras to talk about something that's really inside of you that makes and builds you up every day? See, when that happens, when you have that bubbling up in you, then the fear is like, now the fear changes. It's still not so much the fear of trying to get on camera. Now it's the fear of not getting on a camera or video to talk about your passion, to talk about your purpose. So that's why that's important. So that's you showing up. Then you want to become the expert in understanding your craft, your product, and your business. Ask an expert. That should be you. If you are building yourself and building your brand, you're building your expertise of what you give others. You want people to come to you and if they have a question about whatever you do. I like people coming to me when they're talking about understanding visibility, understanding how to do one-on-one interviews, understand how to do a TV streaming, understanding the social media world. How do you get your brand out there? I want somebody to consult me in that. I want me to be that expert. So what do? I learn I learn the skills. I learn and I take notice of things. I learn and I go to workshops and webinars to learn from others in the craft that I have. So you're trying to become that expert that I always say that household name. Just like you hear McDonald's, Popeyes and stuff, they should be hearing the Diamond Factor. I want that to be a household name. Your name should be you want it to be a household name. So become that expert. And then interview experts, going right into expertise. Interview experts in your field. Understand your field with others and collaborate with them. That is just so much more that you can add to your wheelhouse if you talk to other experts that are either on your level or higher. Usually you want to go below it higher because you're trying to get to that point. You're not trying to just stay stagnant. You want to make sure that you're getting and reaching those goals, and you can talk to those other people that got to that point. They can give you some ideas of how they got to a certain level. So you want to make sure that you're interviewing, you're talking to those experts that basically can help you move to the next level and collaborate with them. You never know. You meet these experts and you collaborate. You two can come together, build something, create something. And guess what? Now you have another product and service with another person that understands and might have a bigger following, or you two can basically share the followings together. And there you go. So interview experts in your field, collaborate with others. And then you want to promote on other stages. Invest in others to promote your brand. Just today, I had the queen on, Gwen Richardson. She helps authors and publishers get themselves out there and get visibility like I'm talking about. So she got on the stage, my stage, okay, call this a stage because any kind of podcast, any kind of TV streaming, any kind of one-on-one interviews, that's a stage. It's just not speaking on a stage, either virtual or in person, but your stages are others. Anytime you can have your voice, say something about what you do and promote you is a stage that others could hear. So you want to look for those stages and get on them, either big or small. Some people are like, well, this is just a small company and they just, interview people. They might just have a shy over 100 people watching the show. That's okay, because 100 people in that audience might be the person that is your avatar to come to you and you can help them. You might be missing out on something. And then overall, if you don't look at it in that sense, it's just a sense for you to practice on being on stages and talking about your product. Somebody asked me a long time ago, Barbara, how do you improve in your speaking? How do you improve in your visibility of yourself? How do you improve going on? You know what? You have to do it. You have to continue to speak in every area of your life. That's how you improve in your skills of speaking. That's how you improve in your skills of having that visibility, is doing it every day, on different stages, no matter what you need to do. So get on them stages. So as you can see, creating your visibility for brand, how are people seeing you? So important. How are people looking at you? Do they understand your product? Do they understand what you do for somebody? Do they understand you talking about creating impact? Do they know what impact you create? Are they guessing? If people are guessing to try to figure out what you do, who you are, then right there's a red flag. Whoa, red flag, that you need to be showing up more and creating that visibility. Let's make 2022 that goal, shall we? In everything you do, show up, because people are waiting on your gifts. Going back to that inner, people are waiting for your gifts so they can grow. You might be saving somebody's life. You're a lighthouse and saving somebody's life out there. But if you're not visible and you're not talking and you're not creating that your brand so people can understand who you are, then people are going to miss out. And that would be a sad thing. Somebody miss out on a wonderful, great gift that you have in you. A very sad thing. Don't let that expire down to the point that you never get out there because you were holding you back for some reasons, or you didn't have the tools, you didn't understand what you needed to do. So with that said, everybody, I want to just say thank you for a wonderful week, the first week of 2022. Enjoy your week, and we will be back, like I said, 5 days out the week. And now it's really 6 because we come on Sundays. Telling you, but again, creating that opportunity, being out there, being visible is very important so people get to know who you are. And with that said, I just want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. See you here same time. It was the back channel or whatever you want to say. 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, where we're making you aware of things, we're educating you, and we're just motivating you. And those are the 3 main factors that I always say when it comes to the Diamond Factor Experience Show. So we're going to do that for you. But if you just show up, you'll get that information so you can move from one extreme to the next in your life. And we're here to help you with that. See you on Monday.
I'm hanging on your every word. The love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more.